Anyway, the chairman of the Republican Governors Association is Doug Ducey, Republican of Arizona. He's been a guest on our show several times, and we welcome Governor Ducey back. There you are. So anyway, first of all, Doug, thank you for letting me address your group today. It was great fun. We had a terrific panel. And secondly, you yourself are an example. You have this school voucher, school choice system, which takes the power away from school closings and teachers' unions and whatnot. And you've also moved, instead of raising taxes, which is what Biden wants to do, you're cutting taxes to a flat tax in Arizona. So tell me, you are the exemplary of the 10th Amendment. You are the exemplary of federalism.
Well, first, Larry, let me say thank you for having me back on the show. It was great to see you today. You're always a big hit at the RGA. And I want to extend Arizona's condolences to Officer Rivera and his family. You won't see that kind of failed policy in Arizona. We're going to fund the police because we're going to be needing law enforcement's help with everything that's happening on the border. But before I touch on the border, I do want to acknowledge that Arizona had the largest tax cut in state history last year. We've got the lowest flat tax in the nation at 2.5%, and we've also made a commitment with lowering taxes. We have many more taxpayers in the state of Arizona, so our general fund is overflowing, and we want our kids back in a classroom. And if a school district is going to play games, we're going to take those tax dollars and give them to the parents with the flexibility, if a school is shut down for even one day, that the parent can find another school and use their tax dollars pro rata to serve their child and get them the best education possible. And then lastly, we are surging badges to the border because the Biden administration is ignoring what's happening on our southern border. Fentanyl is streaming into our country. Governor Abbott and I are partnering on the American Governor's Border Strike Force. But if our entire southern border is not secure, neither is our nation. So we're calling on Secretary Mayorkas, I'm calling on Secretary Mayorkas to resign and allow someone that wants to do the job of Homeland Security in President Biden's cabinet.
So there's, I think we're moving through 2 million illegals now under the Biden administration. This is a catch and release policy. Tell me, what changes actually has the Biden administration made? Because I know they've talked about remain in Mexico, but then they went to the courts and opposed remain in Mexico. As far as I know, it's still catch and release. You know, we ran a story last night, Governor. They're sending illegals by airplane in the dead of night to different parts of the country. The local authorities don't even know they're coming. We singled out Westchester Airport, north of New York City. I mean, has the Bidens actually made any policy changes to stop this catastrophe at the border?
Joe Biden's policy is an open borders policy. It is a catch and release. It has been a complete surrender. He took everything from the Trump-Pence administration that was working, and he reversed it. And he actually welcomed illegal migrants into our country, along with self-appointed border czar Kamala Harris. This is just another laughing matter. They've said they want to extend free health care benefits to illegal migrants, and it's the cartels that are taking advantage of these irresponsible statements. It's shaping border policy, and they're using human trafficking as a diversion as they bring methamphetamine and fentanyl into our nation to poison our children and our kids in high schools and neighborhoods. So if they would just embrace the policies that existed when they came into office, we had a secure border. It was at a 40-year low. This is as bad as it's been in several decades, and it's a 300% increase over where we were last year, and there's zero attention and no action from the Biden administration.
So in the spirit of federalism, you and Governor Abbott of Texas are taking matters into your own state's hands and changing the policies or beefing up the border authorities and policing. Is that what's happening?
Yes, we're putting the National Guard down to the border. Now, the National Guard has been dispatched by the last 3 presidents, including President Obama. But Joe Biden will not call in the National Guard. So Governor Abbott and myself, out of our state budget, have got the National Guard at the border. We've got the Border Strike Force in Arizona. So we're beefing up law enforcement, county sheriffs, Customs and Border Protection, and border agents. But that's not happening in New Mexico. That's not happening in California. So these cartels aren't stupid. When they see physical barriers and law enforcement at the border, they go elsewhere where it's wide open and unprotected. This is why we're calling on the federal government to act, to pay some attention to this. They're going to pay a heavy price at the ballot box, but we would just like them to solve the problem by doing their duty.
Yeah, so absolutely right on that. So, you know, I can't help myself as a supply sider. I want to brag on you for your 2.5% flat tax. Now, here's the thing. The Biden administration and Schumer and Pelosi and all the left-wing radicals, big government socialists, they want to raise taxes. Okay, and the economy is slipping because of the inflation, because we're spending way too much money and the Fed is printing too much money. So, again, in the spirit of federalism, you're showing the way. You're giving us a 2.5% flat tax. So Arizona will surely outperform the nation if this keeps up.
Every time we've lowered taxes, we've had more taxpayers moving into our state. Americans are being pushed out of these places with bad policy. I said in my State of the State, Larry, that Ronald Reagan noted, had the Pilgrims landed on the West Coast, they may have not bothered to discover the rest of the country. Yet today, California has an exodus because of these failed policies of the left. It's pushing real Americans out where opportunity is abundant, and we're thrilled they're coming to Arizona. We just ask that they remember why they left California in the first place.
Yes. So then the other point is, in Washington, the Biden Democrats, all the woke Democrats, have given teachers' unions literally hundreds of billions of dollars in the last year. I mean, literally, more and more money. The teachers' union don't want to teach. And when they do teach, they teach critical race theory with all the racial divisions and, you know, victimization and hating white people, I guess. So you are affording enough money, just the vouchers, and then people can go to the school of, so it's a combination of vouchers and school choice, which should be adopted by national Republicans. I think they should adopt that nationally. And on the tax thing, Governor, I think they should press for making the Trump tax cuts permanent as a beginning for a new tax reform. 2 things that could come from the states.
I welcome all my fellow governors to take our policy and apply it to their kids. These government unions do not have our kids and families' best hearts in store, so we've provided a flexible scholarship of your state dollars. If a school closes for 1 day, or if there's school districts that aren't following the law, you can take your child and you can use that money for tuition, textbooks, tutoring, whatever you need. We're barring critical race theory in Arizona. We're not going to divide people by race in Arizona. We're going to follow the admonition of Martin Luther King Jr., and we're going to judge people on the content of their character and not the color of their skin.
Amen. Governor Doug Ducey of Arizona, thank you, sir. Absolutely terrific stuff.